Welcome to the Authors Hangout. I'm your host, Rodney V. Smith, and today we're taking a look at my Wattpad reading list. Now, this list usually consists of books that I'm reading, books recommended to me, or sometimes books I've been meaning to read. If you read on Wattpad and you're anything like me, you know this means that my TBR list is huge, and that sometimes I've only read like one chapter or sometimes half a book that I've been meaning to get back to. You know how it goes in Wattpad. Since we don't have all the time in the world, I'm only doing 5 books at a time, in no particular order really, except when I feel like it. So links to each book will be in the video description. Here we go. Cut to the Bone by M. Dalto, or Druid Rose on Wattpad. There's 49 chapters of pure awesomeness. Ever since her 18th birthday, Azuma Russo knew she would die battling the forces of hell, just as her mother had, and her grandmother before her. So when her destiny delivers her to death's door, it is not the devil who answers, but the demon prince Malakoda. Instead of ending her fated existence as his sworn enemy, he decides to bind her into a pact that challenges not only the intensity of her will to survive, but also the integrity of her soul to persevere. Okay, so this book throws you right into the action with Druid Rose setting up the stakes from the get-go. Everything about this book is awesomeness, and I'm currently working, my way through it. If you're looking for a well-written supernatural story, go click it and read it now. You can thank me later. Next up is Horns by A.W. Fraser, also known as Frey to her friends. Arlo works as security at the Club Euphoria. He's one of Cerberus's children, so protecting is in his blood. Dion is one of the many entertainers at the club, but when he meets Arlo, he realizes that life is about a lot more than earning money. Arlo and Dion start a secret affair that turns out to be the least of their problems, as the city's government starts restricting civil rights for their half-blooded citizens. Content warning on this one. It's got violence, assault, anxiety, and explicit sex. There's a lot of homoeroticism in this one, so if you're even a little bit homophobic, you can feel free to skip this, but you'll be missing out on a great story. Frey works a lot with supernatural elements, with animal shifters as a favorite, and this book is no different. I've read chapter 1 to 3 so far, and I've been meaning to get back to it, but life and, other books tend to get in the way. It's a solid read so far, and I promise I will finish it soon. Promise. Plus, Frey has a knack for writing realistic male characters, and she's got a ton more books, just like this one. You know where to find the link. Annabelles Will by Lily O'Reva. I really hope I said that correctly, otherwise she's going to kill me. This is in the Wattpad Paid series program, and it's one of those stories that is totally worth paying for. Born a slave, Annabelle soon finds that fate has other plans when she's purchased by a man named Elijah Finley, who not only rescues her from an abusive master, but also gives her freedom. However, her new life comes at the cost of another. Elijah has made Annabelle the heiress to his estate, in spite of having a son. So Henry Finley, unwilling to accept his father's will, is determined to regain his rightful fortune at any cost, even if that means seducing his father's former slave. This book is historical fiction. It's not generally up my alley, but Lily has a strong voice and a really unique perspective. She's one of those few writers on Wattpad from Nigeria, and believe me, coming from Africa makes a huge difference in storytelling. Just looking at the style of the writing alone on this story, it entrances you, and it's definitely worth checking out. The EVA Burning City by Gordon A. Piper. It's also known as Arveliot. This is an ongoing story and has 49 parts so far. Night marches on the ever-burning city. The life-killing mist enshrouding the world, the gloam, clings to the walls. Golems, towering monsters of stone, shake the earth as they march, and the dead rise again, puppeteered by some distant titanic power. For Corporal Valen Redgrave on the watch at the outermost walls of the city, the night marks the end of the military life he has known. For Gwendolyn Arenhall, stewarding a work rehabilitation camp for youth guilty of petty crimes, the night heralds the dismantling of everything she has known. And for crafter Olivia Polden, the fire she commands and the red coat she wears represents the single greatest power in the city, wielder of a power that could doom the city as surely as the foes marching upon it. she will stand first among those sent to halt the invasion. There is no night in the ever-burning city. There can never be. A man stood watch at the end of the world. That is the first line of the story, and it leads you into an epic storytelling that is more fluid and enjoyable than Tolkien. You get a sense of the scale and the epic world building in this story, but you also realize that this author is really enjoying telling the story. If you like epic fantasy, this story needs to be added to your reading list, like right now. Hedoschism from Lindsay Clark, who goes by Little Cinnamon on Wattpad. This story won a Watty Award in 2018, something that was long overdue. Casey Brogan is on a mission to self-destruct. Whether it's booze, drugs, or men, she's spiraling out of control and stepping over the line to destroy the demons of her past and herself in the process. Ethan Drake isn't looking to be anyone's savior. He has enough demons of his own and a legacy he'd do anything to avoid. Following a near-fatal overdose, Casey discovers a world beyond the one she knows, one where dark creatures wage an age-old war and where nobody is who they appear to be. Now hunted by those who want their world to remain a secret, she must decide whether she can put her trust in Ethan or whether he is just as much a threat as those who want her dead. After a lifetime of trying to destroy herself, Casey is about to do just about anything to keep herself alive. Now, Hedaskism is one of my favorite books from Lindsay. I'm not afraid to fanboy a little over this, since Lindy has been a huge influence on me for all of my years on Wattpad. Her vivid prose always shines through, and it makes you want to read more. And this book is easily one of her best. This isn't meant to be a review, of course, but this is one book that I have read to completion, and it stays in my reading list just so I have, easy access to revisit it. So go check out Hedoschism and Lindsay Clark right now. Okay, that's all I have time for this week. There's a hell of a lot more books on my TBR list, and it just keeps getting fuller, but I'm here sharing them with you. If you didn't know what to read before, well, now you do. And even if you have your own ongoing TBR list that isn't getting any smaller, well, you're welcome, I guess. If you like this, leave a like, and if you want to keep up with what's in my reading list, old and new, go ahead and subscribe. I'm Rodney V. Smith, and this has been the Author's Hangout.